Bukan itu Wisnu.
The story begins in Lembang, West Java, on April 17, 1955. We see a group of police officers transporting a man somewhere. He is Budiman, the same intelligent man we saw in the first film, who works at a press office. The driver has his face covered, and Budiman feels like he has seen him before. The car passes through a cemetery. Next, we meet a man named Haryo Kusumo, the police commander of that area. Haryo had called Budiman to show him something. As Budiman enters a dark building, he's shocked to see multiple dead bodies laid out in a room, bodies that had been dug up from graves. Haryo explains that these bodies will be returned to the cemetery as if nothing ever happened, because the Asian African Conference is scheduled to take place there the next day. If this news gets out, it could create serious problems for the country. There are footprints on the ground, which suggests that the dead bodies walked there themselves. Haryo wants the truth to be revealed to the nation, but he has been ordered to stay silent. So instead, he asks Budiman to prepare a newspaper article and publish it as a rumor. At least some people might believe it. All the bodies are bowing their heads toward a picture of a woman, but who she is will be revealed later. The scene then cuts to Jakarta, April 15, 1984. 3 years after Ian was taken by a demonic force, Rini reappears. She goes to a factory to apply for a job, but the boss rejects her because she dropped out of college. Meanwhile, the news is warning about a serial killer on the loose. On her way home, Rini sees a young boy named Yushnu, who communicates with his mother using sign language. He's her neighbor. Outside, we see Bondi playing with 2 boys. One of them is Ari. Bondi finds a gravestone in the field with no name written on it. Ari's father shows up, and it's revealed that he often abuses him. Then we meet a girl named Tari, who is being teased by some boys, including one named Dino. Tony watches from a distance. When he follows Tari, she catches him. Tony explains that he just wanted to help. Tari gives him a radio and asks him to fix it. Tony is happy, because he secretly likes her. That same night, Rini's father returns home from work and locks a suitcase inside a drawer. Rini tells her family that she's going to the university the next day for a scholarship opportunity. The news reports that a storm is expected the following day. Later, Rini goes to throw out the garbage, but the trash room door won't open. So she heads up to the 7th floor instead. There, people are acting strangely. Suddenly, everyone turns and stares directly at her. And then, just as quickly, everything goes back to normal. Yushnu goes to throw out the garbage, but from inside the garbage room, he hears a voice calling out, "Open the door, it's too hot in here." For a moment, Yushnu gets trapped, but somehow manages to get out. Suddenly, an evil spirit attacks him from behind, and terrified, he runs for his life. That night, a woman's reflection suddenly appears on Rini's TV screen. The next day, April 16, 1984, we see Budiman again. He had left his family long ago to keep them safe. For years, he has been trying to understand how a demon is created and whether humans accept evil the same way they accept humanity. A box arrives at Budiman's office, sent by Heru. The letter inside reveals that Heru committed suicide 13 years ago and left all this evidence behind for him. Inside the box are strange symbols, an ancient weapon, and some photographs. One of the photos shows an old building where Heru had once called Budiman back in 1955. Now, a new building stands in its place. The same building where Rini and her family live. The next day, several people were waiting in front of the elevator. Suddenly, some coins fall out of a woman's purse and roll down to the lower level. A few little girls go downstairs to pick them up. Arya's father is still waiting for the elevator. Tari sees Tony and steps out. Tony tells his father to come later and walks away. Right behind them, Dino also takes the elevator down. Yushnu and his mother are inside the lift as well. Suddenly, the elevator malfunctions. The little girls are still downstairs picking up the coins. Somehow, Yushnu manages to get out and tries to pull his mother out too. But suddenly, the elevator crashes down at full speed. 3 little girls get crushed to death, and everyone inside the elevator is killed. Only one girl, Veena, witnesses everything and manages to escape. Veena is Arya's sister. That night, preparations are being made to bury the dead. We learn that Rini's father somehow survived. The police want to know how, but even he has no idea how he made it out alive. Thinking about Yushnu, Rini goes to his house. Meanwhile, in the middle of heavy rain, Budaman stands outside, waiting to enter Mandara apartment, the same place where Rini lives. No one is willing to go inside tonight because a storm is expected. That's when Budaman meets a man we saw in the final scene of Saturn Slave 1. The man says, if you're talking about the elevator accident, that already happened a long time ago. But Budaman knows something far more terrifying is about to unfold. Inside the building, we see a man named Mahmoud, a skilled technician. Tony fixes Tari's radio and she starts listening to it. Suddenly, Tari hears her own voice coming from the radio. She's talking to her mother, describing her own grave, saying how much pain she's in and how she's being tortured. Terrified, Tari looks up, only to see her own mutilated body lying above her. Panicked, she begs Tony to take the radio away. He grabs it and throws it into the trash. Meanwhile, Rini asks Yushnu about his family. Yushnu tells her that there was a fire in their house, where his father died. Later, we find out that Yushnu and his mother actually wanted to get rid of his father because he used to brutally torture her. That's why the two of them created their own sign language so his father wouldn't understand. Yushnu learned this strange language from a weird book he found inside an open suitcase at a bookstore. Rini's father is sitting in his room watching TV, looking very tense. Suddenly, the power goes out in the entire building. A strange voice comes from Arya's room saying, "Bow your head in respect for the one who is about to be born." Veena says the sound came from near the door, but when they open it, no one is there. On the other hand, Rini goes back to her house to grab a candle and pulls out her father's suitcase, the one he always keeps locked. Suddenly, her father's eyes open. Rini quickly says she just came to take a candle and leaves. Her father never lets anyone touch that suitcase. Downstairs, Tony meets Ustad. Ustad tells Tony to go alone and check the other victims' apartments, while he goes to look after the kids himself. Because of the storm, water has flooded the ground floor, and now everyone is trapped inside the building. The place feels completely deserted, like everyone has vanished. Bondi and his friends enter the chief's apartment. Inside, they see many pictures on the wall, all from this same building. In one picture, there's a 15th floor, even though the building only has 14 floors. They suspect this might be the mysterious 15th floor. But the stairs only go up to the 14th floor. All the photos have the same date, April 17, just different years. That means something happens here on that same day every 29 years, and tomorrow is April 17. They also discover that this building was built over an old graveyard. When Tony goes to check one of the victims' rooms, he sees all the dead bodies staring straight at him. Terrified, he runs out and bumps into Dino, who takes him to his room. Dino shows him a hole in the wall, saying his pet ferret went through it into the next apartment. He asks Tony to crawl through and check. Inside, Tony finds a photo album with pictures of a woman, the same woman we saw at the beginning. He brings the album back. Meanwhile, Terry sees an evil spirit sitting in her room, which disappears in an instant. When Ustad arrives, she tells him that something is haunting her. The master tells her to recite the prayer. But Terry says that even the people who used to recite it before had started getting killed. The master insists they were reciting it the wrong way. As soon as Tari begins the prayer, she starts seeing disturbing visions. She sees several dead bodies standing right behind her. Terrified, she runs away and crashes into Tony. Meanwhile, Veena hears a strange sound. She looks around and sees the same dead girls appear to scare her, before suddenly vanishing. Moments later, a voice calls Veena by her name. She thinks it's her mother calling her and follows the woman. But it's actually a spirit that tricks her and traps her inside an elevator. There, the ghosts of those dead girls appear again, and Veena dies on the spot. At the same time, Rini secretly steals her father's suitcase because she wants to find out what he really does. Later, everyone gathers again and heads to Dino's house. Tony shows Rini an album and points out that the people in it are also in their mother's photo album, meaning they once lived in the same building. Now they start believing that something inside this building is killing everyone. Dino then shows them a picture of a woman with a name written below it. Raminam, that's the woman's name. Tony wonders if she could be his mother, but his mom never wore clothes like that. Rini opens her father's suitcase, and a terrible stench comes out. Inside, it's filled with severed fingers. Horrified, everyone runs away. But then they remember Bondi. So Rini, Tony, and Yushnu go together to find her. Meanwhile, Bondi finds an open apartment where a man is sitting. As she turns the sofa, she's shocked to see it's her brother Ian, who has turned into a demon. Terrified, she runs away. At the same time, Rini and Tony enter Arya's room and discover that Arya's mother has hanged herself. Frightened, they run out and finally reunite with Bondi. It's exactly midnight. April 17 has begun. Suddenly, all the dead bodies inside the building come back to life. Rini tells Ian to come with her. Yushnu communicates with Ian using sign language, and Ian responds that he's a friend. Rini brings her lost brother with her. Downstairs, Dino sees Raminam. But as he approaches her, her dress suddenly falls to the ground in midair. Dino throws the dress into the water, flooding the building. But the dress flies back and wraps itself around him, trapping him tightly. Dino struggles desperately to break free. But Raminam suddenly attacks him, and a sharp object pierces straight into Dino's throat, killing him instantly. Meanwhile, Tari sees all the dead bodies in the building coming back to life, and she even spots Raminam. Terrified for her life, she starts running. Out of nowhere, Tari runs into Ustad. He tells her that none of this is real, then heads upstairs to check. But moments later, Tari finds Ustad dead as well. With no other option, she hides inside the garbage room. Suddenly, the radio turns on again and ominously says that Tari is now headed straight to hell. She looks up and sees a corpse attacking her, and horrifyingly, a baby crawls out of the corpse's mouth. Shocked, Tari loses her grip, falls down, and dies in the exact same way she had seen in her vision. On the other hand, Rini and the others are desperately searching for a way out of the building when their father suddenly appears in front of them. He claims that he did all of this to save his family. Then comes the twist. He admits that everything happening is actually his fault. The moment he sees Ian, he tries to attack him. Everyone panics and runs. Suddenly, someone knocks Rini unconscious. The scene cuts to Ian standing before a group of demonic followers. Ian shows Rini a vision and tells her that if she forgets everything, she can have the life she truly deserves. Rini struggles to break free from the illusion, and when she finally wakes up, she sees Tony and her father tied up by the demons. Ian summons 2 horses, which brutally pull her father's body apart. Then it's Tony's turn, but just in time, Budaman arrives. He throws a black seed toward the zombies and uses his weapon to push Raminam back. Ian orders the zombies to attack, but Yushnu signals them to stop using sign language, and surprisingly, they obey. Rini hits Ian with something, and they all manage to escape. It's then revealed that they were actually on the 15th floor, a secret floor hidden behind a concealed door, just like the one shown in the picture. Budaman takes them away on a boat and reveals the truth to Rini. He admits he has always been late. Rini's father was a police officer who back in 1955 discovered Raminam's cult during duty. He later asked Rini's mother to join the cult so they could have a child. Eventually, he wanted to break the deal. But to do that, he had to kill 8,000 people. The mysterious serial killings were actually committed by Rini's father. He made terrible mistakes, but he truly loved her. The cult had been targeting her father from the very beginning, and her mother was just a pawn. Budiman adds that this isn't just about her family. Something far more sinister is at play, and he promises to reveal everything. In the end, we once again see the same couple from Satan's Slave 1. Even now, no one knows whether they are on the side of good or evil. So what do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section. Also subscribe to this channel for more stories like this.